I have no idea what my background is.
I'll make you a host, Lavelda.
Super.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
hello,
Welcome, welcome,
folks.
welcome.
Hello, everybody. This is you're not allowed to hide and not be on camera Q&A. That's the deal.
Hi, Audrey. You're like, okay,
Hi.
then.
I have
Hi,
no.
Enrique. Hi, Yuta. Hi, Agnes.
Hi, hi.
Lovely to see you. Um, so just a quick hello, in case you don't know who we are. I'm Lavelda Vincenzi. No, I'm only joking. I'm Elliot Kay. And the others can
No,
introduce
man.
themselves.
Like I can't wake up next to you. You know?
And then you got Simone, who's going to introduce himself, and then Lavelda will say hello, and then we'll take your questions, right? Just say hello, people.
Okay, I'll go first. Hi, folks. I'm Lavelda. So if you've not met me before, I think there's quite a few familiar faces, but just in case you've not been on one of the calls before, I'm one of the co-founders. I sit predominantly in the operational role, so call me COO. I also work as a professional moderator and host, so I also sit the other side of the fence that a lot of you are on as well. Here to answer any questions that you have about the awards process, your application. I interviewed the judges at the end of last year as well. So I've got some of that little judges magic kind of tucked away back here. Elliot's interviewed them this year. I interviewed them last year and went, tell me what's what so I could tell the people. So that's a bit about
Yes,
me.
I can let you know into those insights as well. Simone, over to you.
Yeah, I'm the person who gets you to buy the tickets. That's that's my role, the sales director. So if you see all the emails about entering, buying the tickets for the summit, buying the tickets for the awards, getting the ceremony, that's my role, basically to make sure that actually there are people that enter the award, that apply for the awards, that are at the summit. And my background is sales and marketing. So I run an agency and a training company where we support speakers getting clients with webinars. So that's a big part of my bread and butter. And then here in the awards is basically I do the same on the award side. So here to help you out, here to support you. And Elliot, over to you.
Right. So just to warn you, I might have two little people put their heads around the door. My wife's away. So the kids have been briefed, but they don't always listen. So they might pop in at some point, or I might need to leave as a result. But we've got Lavelle and Simone here. Anyway, so this is a very informal session. This is really where you ask us what you want. And once you've asked the questions, you're very welcome to leave. You don't need to stay the whole hour. You're welcome to stay the whole hour. So I did want to, my kids in the background. Hi, Karen. Lovely to see you. Hopefully, we'll see your lovely smile. Hi, Anne, and hello, Enrique again. So this is really informal. This isn't like a webinar. We don't have slides. This is led by you. I know some of you are being nosy and just showing up to listen. So we did that last time, and some people just wanted to listen, which is fair enough. Jennifer's back for more. She was at the other Q&A, so I'm sure she has questions. But we'll start with Yuta, who has put her hand up. What is your question? Make sure you unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Oh,
Um,
crystal clear for sure.
Lovely to see you again.
Great to see you again, Utah.
Yep. Okay, I have a very short question because I'm still in my yoga outfit after teaching. Okay. I hope I got this right. I released a video as a keynote, which was 10 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
The video has not been officially published yet. I shortened it to 5 minutes, so it fits the criteria. Now, I was a little bit frightened. Oh, can I put the long one already out on YouTube, or is it not allowed?
Yeah, look, we're not here
Absolutely.
to in any way step in your marketing, in
Good.
any way of you releasing. It's not exclusive. You
Okay.
can use the 10 minutes and the 5 minutes you can submit to us. Not
The
a
5 minutes I've actually really created for the competition. Now, very one last question.
Yep.
Not two, do
Okay.
it. Okay,
Go for it.
due attenzione. Uh, One is I have a testimonial about me speaking in German. Now, I will translate it, of course, using people or something, but shall I put the original German as well as a proof, or can I just say this is the person and I say I translated it from German to
That's
English? Yeah?
fine. Yeah, you don't need to. Don't put the German as well. No one's going to verify it or look to for source. We
Yeah,
trust. There's a
I
lot of
thought,
trust going on We trust that what you submit is truthful, honest.
It is the
Okay.
one and only Jutta. Last question.
Yes.
Okay. I think I wanted to apply in three categories. Now, if I would apply for a category that is actually not really the correct category, I know I can't say first time speaker and I won't go for real, but I just thought, but when it said in one category, best live speaker, I know I speak live on stages. I know I also speak on podcasts or I speak on online, but I love speaking live. So I wasn't sure, shall I go for live as well or not? I was a bit confused about that part. Sorry, yeah. Sorry not to bore you
And
people,
don't
yeah.
be sorry. This is why we do these Q&As, right? And
Yes.
by the way, team, I think we should pencil another one for next week.
Okay, we
I'm
can
happy
do.
to do that. Look, I think what's really important, I think this will help Blanket answer, I think, some other questions. What's really important that the video you submit reflects the category, right?
That's,
So if you're going for live speaker, that's one of the categories where they do need to see you live on stage, recorded live, right?
that's
Other
fine.
ones you can do to camera, but that's the one category they will need to see you live, right?
Good, good, good. All answered. Thank you very much. Then I can
Fabulous.
happily
I think just for some more context on that, Utah, it was probably more obvious in previous years because we had best live speaker and we had best virtual speaker.
yeah,
And because we don't do best virtual speaker anymore, I can understand why best live speaker might not be as clear as it has been previous years. So that's live speaking engagements on stage, which means that the judges are going to be looking for footage that's of you live in front of an audience.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. That's all.
You're more than
So
welcome.
I'd highly recommend everybody watching this and watching on replay, listen to the podcast with the judges. I mean, they're a bit long. Get a cup of coffee or tea or seven.
Just
But
put it
we
on
go
2x
deep.
speed.
Listen to all of them. There's two released this week, but the one with Dominic, he talks in great depth. So he's from London Speaker Bureau. Um, any of them, they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for. So it's worth at least listening to one of them. Great
Well,
question, Utah.
thank you. I'll see you all on the 3rd of July. Not on the
Fantastic.
4th, of course, on the 3rd. Thank you, everyone. See you all. Look forward to it. Have a lovely evening. Sorry, I'm leaving.
It's
Goodbye.
No,
not a
that's why we
problem.
do this. Drop in, drop out.
Bye.
Thanks, Utah. You don't have to apologize. Right. Who's
You.
next? I think Jennifer probably has some questions.
Yeah,
Good to
yeah.
be
I was
back.
just finding the raise hand button. Just well, actually now three questions.
Okay.
The first one is if the segment of the video that really it makes it tight, if it is less than 5 minutes, like 4 minutes, is that okay?
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, that's great. And then the other thing, I'm in the process of updating Showreel based on some of the video that I would use for the speaker awards, but the Showreel it's really not going to be finished until probably end of May, early June, because there's other things I want to put in it around my book, etc. So is that an issue in that the judges, from at least what I understand, they look at everything, not just the video, but the materials, the show reel, etc. Because the show reel will not be, it will be
Which
better in
category are
clean than
you
it will
are you
be in
referring
pay.
to? Is this for the showreel category, Jennifer?
No, no, this would be for other categories such as thought leadership, future AI, etc.
In
Right.
which case it doesn't matter.
No.
Okay, okay,
Remember,
that's
I'll say as long as the footage you choose represents the category. That's
right.
the important part.
Yeah,
Not how it's edited. So the only one that the editing and the appearance of it needs to be slick is Showreel. Right.
okay, that's
And if you ever need an example, look at the example on the resource page of Emma Henderson's. All she
right.
did was chop together bits of her talk for Booker's Choice. It wasn't a showreel. It was clean, but it wasn't pro, and she won because it
Yeah,
answered the category. So that's the most
yeah,
important part, right?
What I would
that's
add to that is when I interviewed the judges last year, because what happens is I'm talking to me if they've got any questions about applicants, etc., in the back end. And the number of times I saw, oh, they've uploaded the wrong video. And the reason
oh.
they've said that is because you uploaded a show reel for storyteller, you uploaded a show reel for best motivational speaker. And so they're thinking this is not the best footage. It's not here to show me motivational. They just put
Right.
their show reel in, but this isn't the show reel category. Now,
Okay,
I knew
yeah.
that people were applying for different categories and thought, oh, I'll do my best thing and I'll just put things together. Read, like, go onto the resources page, have a read of what the judges are looking for each application. And just as a general rule, I would not default to showreel, uploading your showreel unless you are applying to the showreel category.
No, I wasn't gonna.
That's why I was asking. Outside of the showreel category, whether your showreel is ready or not doesn't matter. The judges,
I thought they looked at the overall package of the speaker.
So when the judges judge, sometimes they might have 40 or 50 different applicants they have to go through. So when you take yourself out and you put yourself in the judge's shoes, first and foremost, they're looking at the video that you submitted. Then they're looking at the other things around it. Now, if it's close, they start to go, we need to find a way to split the differences, right? What they're not going to do is spend an hour on every single application doing research across the internet of all of the different things, right? They just wouldn't be able to get through all of the applications in sufficient time. So the video, the footage that you select for the video part of your submission and everything you put into that submission is what's most important, that it tells a story and it stands alone. And so long as it tells a story and it stands alone, you'll be in good stead. And that it's appropriate for the category that you're applying to.
Okay. That does me. I will leave you to it there, and I will listen in case there's other thoughts that come. But I'm going to jump to support my team while I listen. So
of course. Brilliant, Jennifer. Lovely to see you. Audrey, Agnes, a question for you.
Actually, I haven't been able to attend any of these because of any work. So I listened to some of the recordings and I've been, I think, on LinkedIn, different ways, kind of in touch with both of you. So I have my ticket. So I haven't decided whether I apply or not, simply because of work and ventures. I'm just funding a new scale up. So, and it's been quite busy, understatement. But I have my tickets for the 3rd. Because I thought whether I enter or not this year or next year, perhaps, I wanted to be in the room, support others, have a little look around, have the vibe. So I'm kind of not, it's a question of time and energy, whether I apply this year, not anything else, probably.
Here's what I'll say to that, right?
Go on.
The key message is back yourself, right? And maybe this year you don't go for 3, you go for 1.
That's true. That's true.
Let's, maybe go for 1, and then you might land. Look, the worst case, nothing.
I'm there anyway. Can I just say, I'm there anyway. It's going to be a fantastic evening. Right. I know, with amazing people. So,
exactly. And so best case, you're shortlisted. Next best case, you win. Like, all I'm saying is you've got everything to gain. Did you get the double ticket? Did you get the sort of the 2-in-1?
When did you buy your ticket at the end of the last event?
I actually bought the ticket for the online for the early bird or whatever this.
That's for the summit. This is the awards, which is in the evening. Have a look at your ticket, please. Have a look at your ticket. Anyway, my point is, if you bought it at the end of last,
I'm having a look at it now, so I can confirm. I'll do it in there.
Can you confirm? Because I love to do both, if that's possible.
Actually, we might have a solution for you. Okay.
Then good that I came.
My point is, if you bought the ticket at the end of last event, you would have got 2 entries included. That's why I'm checking. So Simone,
no, I did not do that. I bought it fairly recently, not so recently, but in the early, and I'm not sure actually if I bought it for both or just the summit, but summit for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, we'll look and we'll email you and we'll.
Super, but I would love to be there, and I'm happy to do whatever it takes. And thanks for the tip. That's a super tip, because there's so much going on. I'm funding 3 companies, buying one and doing a scale up on the whole lot. So quite a lot going on, but it's something that is close to my heart. So I thought at least I support, even if I'm
I
even
love
if
that.
I'm going
That's the right attitude. That's what we love in our rooms. People support.
Exactly. I can confirm. So you have the ticket for the summit, which is for the day.
Okay.
So then, my
What do I need to
recommendation,
do?
and in this case, so if you enter the awards, so we have the summit and the awards are two events. The summit happens in the day, and the awards happens in the evening. The way that we are going to release the tickets for the awards dinner is that first we are going through the awards application. Then, when people have shortlisted or completed their applications, they are the first people to be invited to the dinner,
100%.
right?
Otherwise, it's
Then whatever we don't sell from the people that have joined the awards, then we put it out on the public, and then
okay.
everyone else can join, right? So if you the moment you enter for at least one of the awards, you are going to be invited to be the one of the first to be
Okay.
invited to get your ticket for the dinner. So you can be
Okay, super. So
in
there
the
you go.
day and the evening.
There is the incentive.
There
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 we
you
is the
go.
go.
You
incentive.
got it.
There's a really good saying that I've heard: reduce the scope and stick to the plan. So
I
rather than
think
doing
so.
3, reduce the scope and just, I'm applying to one. I'm going to give it 2 hours of my time to sit down and just get the application done. And then you stick to the plan of getting one in. And at least you've had a go through the process, right? Your rationale for doing it might
That
be
is
slightly
true.
different from somebody else's. But when you come around next year, you're prepared. You know what it takes. You kind of understand. You've familiarized yourself with it, and it might be a little bit more of that. I'm
Exactly.
looking forward to seeing your application. I say
And I
I'm looking
can
forward to
and
seeing
I
your
can
application.
enter
I won't
next
see
year
it.
and I can enter next year as well. So if I
Sure.
Absolutely.
unless I win, of course, because
Well, if you win the category, the only caveat is you can't enter that category. You can enter another.
all right. All right.
Brilliant, Agnes. Loving it.
No,
Welcome,
I
Dalia.
would love to be just there and share some spirit regardless with everyone. That's the most
We love
important.
that. We love that.
Cool.
Just
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
thank
more than
I'm
you.
welcome.
staying. I'm staying and listening.
Fantastic. Hi, Galia. Lovely to see you. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I was with
No, no.
customers.
Don't be
Absolutely
sorry.
fine.
This is very informal. You drop in, you drop out. You can ask your question and leave. This isn't like a proper, webinar with slides. We're just here to support anybody that has a question. So you don't need to apologize. We'll go to Karen, and then if you have a question, we'll come to you. But Audrey, I know we're going to go to you after Agnes. But we'll go to who put their hand up, which actually, Karen will come to you next. Audrey, what's your question?
Well, I've got lots of questions because
Okay.
I'll be honest in that I've got lots of questions. The biggest one is really I do a lot of presenting and as opposed to speaking, and I suppose that was why I was here, just to find out the differences between the presenting and speaking. And I know that effectively you speak when you present, but I haven't been booked for many keynote events. So I wanted to know whether that was impactful in number one,
Can you
applying.
let me know the nature of what you mean by presenting? What sort of
Okay.
events do you mean?
So I will go to conferences and I will do a presentation, an hour's presentation, usually a workshop or something. And so there'll be some speaking at the beginning, and then obviously it then goes into what it is. And then there might be some activities. So I'm a presenter as such, but I have done keynote speaking, but not as much as I would like. I have a show reel,
When you
and
present, what do you present?
inclusion. I'm an inclusion trainer and speaker.
Right. So even though you might make it, you still speak about
Yeah,
inclusion. You talk about
yeah,
the myths, the rights, the wrongs,
yeah.
the misconception.
100.
Right. If you put that together,
Yeah.
would that demonstrate you?
Yes.
Right. So that's fine.
Fine.
If
Okay.
you were hosting, that's different. Like if you're like, "Hi, please welcome on the stage,"
Okay.
they go for the host. But as you present things, that's a form of speaking that
Yeah.
still can get you to enter a
Okay.
category or two.
Yeah,
Whether
if you look at the Audrey, if you look at the categories, you've got best motivational. I'm sure there's clips of you being motivational. You've got
Sure.
best storyteller. I'm sure there's stories that you
Yeah.
tell, so from that regard, we don't need the full workshop. We need you're on stage and you're delivering something that's inspirational, motivational, that is thought leadership.
Sure.
So the nature of the categories means it's absolutely possible for you to pull clips from workshops
Brilliant.
together to be able to demonstrate your competence for those particular awards.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So that was my first question and the biggest question. So that's the biggest thing. And sorry, for logistical purposes, can you just remind me how much does it cost and
Yeah.
and
You mean
things
to
like that?
enter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's £80 per category. That's all in, including VAT and everything. You can enter 3 categories max,
Okay.
and that's really it. And then
Okay.
if you do get shortlisted or you want to come along, I don't know what the ticket price is, Lavelde, if we could, I
It
think,
starts around about 200 plus VAT.
Okay.
200, 250, something like that is
Okay.
what the starting ticket price is, and it kind of scales from there typically.
Okay.
And we
don't
will
quote us
often,
on that.
sorry?
In case we're slightly wrong, it's
Yeah,
around
I'm giving a
The
variance.
range, yeah.
it
Because
won't
I
jump
need to
to
go back and have a
1,000.
look at what the numbers were that we'd agreed on. But the process that we have is when we open up, we do a webinar to announce the shortlisting. It's fun to do it all together, and we love it. We love ourselves a good webinar. So we get everybody together and we say, "Come on, let's announce who they all are." And
It's all about webinars. It's all about webinars, you know.
and at that point, we'll
A
also
reveal
tell
party.
you all of the details about the venue, the price, how to get on board, and we give a very, I think it's normally about 5 days special offer price, a shortlist price. And so anybody who's shortlisted, you have an opportunity, if you act early, to get on board really quickly. And we normally have some special packages. After that 5 days, tickets are still available. They just kind of go out. They go to an early bird price, which is not as nice as the shortlist price.
Okay.
Right. So we do try and make it as give anybody who's shortlisted and applied the opportunity to get the best possible price.
Brilliant. Got it.
3rd of July, Leonardo Hotel at St. Paul's.
In St. Paul's. Perfect.
It's a beautiful hotel. It like overlooks St. Paul's Cathedral. It's really lovely. Yeah.
Lovely.
Better be
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. And I can go to your website and find all
Elliot
the...
hasn't seen it yet, so he's like, it better be good.
It better be
all he
nice,
sees
yeah.
is the invoices. I'm like, it's good. Trust me, it's really pretty. It's a really good one.
As long as it's not in a tent, that's the main
It's
thing.
not
Definitely not in a tent. I promise you, it's not in a tent.
It's not in a tent. Oh, that's good.
Either that, it's a very expensive tent.
Indeed, because you can get nice tents. You can get nice tents. You can. Thank you. I'll go onto your website and I'll start doing the things. Brilliant. Thank you.
Was there anything else, Audrey, or has that answered all your questions?
That's answered it for now. No doubt. I'm sure I'm probably going to.
No problem. We're here.
Thank you very much. That's really
By the
helpful.
way,
That's really
anyone
helpful.
watching this or anyone on the call, email us. We respond. You can always email us, okay? Not a problem. Karen, the smiley, bubbly Karen.
Hello.
Hello.
I know I would love to come off camera, but it is absolute chaos behind me. So I will keep this short. I'm a bit of a deadline dancer. So I'm just wondering, the deadline is the 30th of April. Is that like midnight, the 30th of April?
Yes.
Midnight UK time.
Fab. Amazing. And I'm assuming, and I think this was answered, if you have won the award, you can't apply for it again. So if you are shortlisted for an award, can you apply for that award again?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're shortlisted or highly commended, yes. Winner, no.
Right.
Okay.
So the rules around winning is if you've won the award, you have to take a year off and give somebody else a chance for the following year, but you can come back the subsequent year. So you have to take a beat and apply for something else. So that doesn't mean you can never come back. It just means you can't come back the following year. But if you're highly commended, shortlisted, applied and didn't get through, you can come back and apply as many times as you like.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you. And one last question. From memory, we have to submit or upload like 5 minutes of video content. Can we, and I'm assuming that has to be continuous. We can't take like snippets of a talk and put it together. Okay.
Yep. You can snip.
Step away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. So just to help with that, look, it's a stylistic choice. If you feel 5 continuous minutes, right, do the job, great. But again, I'll revert you back to Emma's entry for the Booker's choice. She did clips. So have you had a look at some of the example videos, Karen?
I have, but I probably need to go back and refresh my
But just
memory.
look at Emma's entry
Yeah.
for the Booker's choice. It's just snippets and the really interesting thing about Emma's winning entry is it's her delivery because she's standing behind the podium and just dropping jokes, right? But she snipped it together, is my point. So you can snip, 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 should you choose.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Okay, perfect.
anybody who's watching on the replay, and also for those of you live, a lot of these questions, if you go on to the speakerawards.com, and then across the top, there's a button called resources. In that resources page, we've got Q&As, we've got interviews with judges, we've got the past winners entries. What did they actually submit? There's some of those in there. So it's a really rich resource pool to find that you can go to at any time that may help at least give you some examples of what's worked in the past, and it might help to spark some interest there. So we've got these calls. We're going to have a chat about putting another one in next week as well, and these are really here to help answer any questions that you've got to help you move forward. But there's also, at any time, you can go onto the website. Simone's dropped the link in here. Go on the resources page, and we've answered most of these questions as best we can in there, so you may find that it helps to move things along for you.
Just in case you're in the middle of application and you don't have to, you won't be emailing, or we won't respond till tomorrow. You jump,
or it's 2 hours until it's due.
Yeah, for those dancing
deadlines. In case it's due in 2 hours, go to the resources page. It will probably answer it because we're sleeping.
There's also how to use the system on there. There's templates for you to adapt as well, to even for the answers. So we've tried to cover as much as we can on that page. But obviously, questions are questions, and we're happy to answer them. So does that help, Karen?
Yes, so amazing. Thank you very, very much.
You're more than welcome.
All right, Galia, do you have a question?
I do have a question, yes. Basically, I'm not really officially a speaker, but I would like to just complete an application so I get feedback rather than going for an award. Is that going to be a waste of time for you or not? Basically, I want feedback for the purposes that I'm trying to overcome imposter syndrome. So that's why for me it's important just to do the application.
I think, first of all, thank you for acknowledging that and for being willing to put yourself out there. You can dial down the volume on imposter syndrome, so I hope you find the way to do that. I think the best thing is go through the process, and whenever that voice kicks in, just look at a little volume dial and go, turn it down, submit, right? I don't know what category you're going to go for, but once you've gone for it, most of the judges are happy to give feedback, so we can find out what the judge was, and therefore I can always let them know, look, this is your case, and then hopefully they'll give you feedback. We are working on a feedback loop and how we can get better at that. This year we haven't quite managed to incorporate that as part of the process, but I'm pretty sure that most people ask for feedback, so the judges will give it to them. So once you've done it and the process is done, drop us a message and then I can help you with that. But I interviewed Denita yesterday, and actually her interview will be on Friday, and she talks about always giving people feedback that she's judged. I don't know what category you'll go for, and they don't know what categories they're doing yet. So, but once that's all done, but yes, follow this through, honor yourself, back yourself, which is our key kind of like message, and then let's see where you land from there.
Thank you.
And I'm happy. I'm completely impartial, but once the process is done, I'm happy to give you my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, we can jump in and do that. I think the difference is we didn't judge it, right? So you'll get feedback, but it won't be the judges' feedback, because we wouldn't know what was in their mind and what had them land on the decisions that they landed on, but we could possibly hazard a,
Nor can we influence.
I guess.
We
Yeah.
can't influence, we can't adjust. We're open to bribes, but it will get you nowhere. You can send
We'll
us
just eat the
money.
chocolate. That's what will happen. We'll eat the chocolate.
Send us stuff, but we'll just enjoy it. It will not influence anything, right? Even today, someone's like, "How many donuts do I need to send you?" I'm like, "You can send me all the donuts in the world. You'll still get the result you'll get." So if he's happy to send me donuts, but no, I'm kidding. On all seriousness,
I'm Italian, some Parmigiano, you know, we'll take that.
there we
Well,
And
go.
I will help him eat it,
some
but it will make
taralli.
no difference to what the judges are going to do.
Yeah, we have no say, and we created it, so we have no sway, no say, no influence, zero. But yes, well done, Galia. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You go, girl. Back yourself.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions, people listening to this? Anything else? Actually, someone on LinkedIn reached out. I don't know if she sent me her question. Let me quickly check.
Oh, have we got virtual submissions now, have we, Elliot?
Oh, she said she watched the replay and I asked if she's got any questions. And she has said no. She'll watch the replay. So
okay.
good.
I suppose what we could talk about is any of the key mistakes that we see quite often. I think that'd be quite helpful for people, and by get as feedback from the judges, and any tips, hints, nuggets that we've acquired over the years from the judges in terms of when they've been blown away. I think that might just be helpful in general I mean, I see all the heads nodding. They're like, where's all the insights? Give me all the juicy nuggets.
So having interviewed recently, I can tell you sort of what the judges have said. And again, you can go back and watch these. So I've interviewed Frederick, Dom, Danita, Sarah, so Frederick's a first-time judge, but Dom's with us second
Third year.
Sarah's third. Danita's been with us for 5, right? So you get a real range there. But what they all kind of had in common is they are all going to look at how you deliver your content. They are going to look at delivery, right?
Sarah Archer.
Sarah Archer, yeah. They're going to look at delivery. They all are looking for connection. They are going to look for that, the emotional emotiveness, how you make them feel. They're going to be looking out for that, regardless of the category. They want to see authenticity. They want to see uniqueness in delivering it. They don't want you to see, they definitely don't want to see you trying to be someone else, right? They've all said that they hate being pitched at in the middle of it, someone whipping out a book or going, here's my course.
Oh, that was one I got as well. Yeah, leave that stuff out. You know, if you were thinking, oh, it's going to add to my credibility, don't waste your video footage on talking about what it is that you do. It's not a good use. They're a good use of the 5 minutes that you've got. Leave that stuff out and just focus on the talking.
And we had a question, someone emailed this in actually, and then I asked Sarah and Danita, if you're filming for this, right? Even if you do it in your living room, what's important is the delivery and how you deliver it. Just make sure there's nothing distracting, no dirty underwear in the background, right? Just, that they can focus in on you. You don't get marked down in any shape, way, or form if you're recording it in your living room. They're interested in you as a speaker, period, right? We get that a lot.
Obviously, I often say to people, it's a speaking competition, not an editing competition, right? So just bear in mind, let the main thing be the main thing. Unless you're applying to Showreel, and that's the only category where they'll look at how you've sliced it together, because that makes up part of your Showreel. You can literally just cut next. It doesn't need transitions and all of that kind of stuff. It just needs to be the best showcase of you, pulling out the stuff that's not adding to it. So if you don't have great video skills, editing skills, that doesn't matter. They're not interested in that. What they do need is they need to be able to see you, right? So don't film it in the dark. Put a light on your face, just something basic, any light, make sure it's bright enough they can see you. And they need to be able to hear you. so not so far away from the microphone that they're having to dial it up and lean all the way in, hold the laptop up to their ear so they can hear what you've got to say. And provided you've ticked those two boxes with the footage, the audio is easy to understand and they can actually see you, and you focus most of your attention on you, not all of the other things. It can get tempting to go, oh, here's my book, here's all my years of experience, here's 5 testimonials, let me tell you about my business. It's a speaking competition, right? That's just not the best use of those 5 minutes that you've got. Make most of that 5 minutes be you, focused in on you doing the thing that you do best, to maximize the 5 minutes rather than eating into it with things that they're not evaluating you based on anyway.
I'll just answer Karen's question. Can you record it on your phone? If your phone records to high quality and it's not pixelated, and if the audio isn't tinny, as in you clip in the mic, sure. Because these days phones can record really powerfully, right? But make sure the audio is clear and not tinny. So you don't want them to be going, is this recorded on their phone? That you don't want them to be thinking that. If your phone records that well, go for it. That's what I'd say. Yes, you can do it that. I think Lavelda has something clever, she says. And now it slipped my mind because I was gonna use but I can't remember what it is. It'll come back to me. It was something around what we're talking about here. Oh, this is the clever thing Lavelda says amongst many.
That she's not, I know what it is. That she's not always right. But she's seldom wrong.
No, that's
No,
not what
that's another line.
spoken
I
like a
heard that
true
before.
husband.
Okay.
What I was going to say was think about your submission the same as you would think about a speaking proposal. What would you put forwards if it was a speaking proposal, right? Think of it a bit like that. That might help you decide on the quality that you use. So that's something to think about, right? Audrey.
My question was to do with some videos that I have made. They are promotional videos, but they are me speaking, but they've been professionally done actually. So is that the type of submission I could potentially utilize?
Yeah, if you feel, I'm going to caveat that again, that responds to the category you're applying for. So
Okay.
I haven't seen them, but something like newcomer, something like motivational speaker, that could work. I don't know. But
Okay.
if it's thought leadership and you're not demonstrating thought leadership, the judges will just skip. They'll just move forwards, right? So again, you need to almost have that other eye going, does this answer the category? The answer is yes, you can.
Okay.
As long as it
Answer. Yeah.
exactly.
I hear that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think the answer the category piece is probably the biggest piece that people sometimes don't sit with. The judges are judging, is this the best motivational speaker, for example, which means they're looking for stuff in that video footage that demonstrates being motivational. And if you can't tell a motivational story or, have some sort of conversational arc that shows that you were taking people on a journey, that by the end of it, they leave that feeling like, yeah, then you haven't answered the category, right? The point of motivational is the judge should get to the end of that and think, I can do this, right? That's what you're supposed to be demonstrating. So take the pieces and condense it down so they get that rich flavor of, I can do this. If it's thought leadership, have you demonstrated something that's leading bleeding edge? Or are you saying the same old, same old? In which case, it's not thought leadership. You're regurgitating same old, same old. Have you put a new spin on an old idea? Are you demonstrating that you're at the leading bleeding edge? Are you putting pieces together slightly differently? Can you demonstrate that you are, it doesn't matter what area, zone of genius you're in, that you are really owning this zone of genius and you've got unique thoughts around it? That's what they're looking for in thought leadership. Not a great story. Is this person demonstrating thought leadership? If you're submitting into storytelling, they need a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Don't leave them halfway through saying Netflix, it's a cliffhanger moment. They need a fully complete, considered story with a narrative arc, emotional pull. They need all of the elements that make a great story. You can tell a story in a minute. You can tell a story in an hour. right? You can tell a story in 3 words. They need a story that makes them feel something, right? So in answer to a lot of the questions that we often get on these calls, is the video okay? Without seeing it, our answer is often, it could be. It depends on what category you're applying to. So I'd encourage everybody to take a step back and say, if it's thought leadership and I was judging thought leadership, what would I want to see? And then look at your footage accordingly. If it's best host, I need to see you hosting, right? I want to see that the host has got energy. I want to see that they can direct and command a stage, and that they can get the audience together. I need to see all of that sort of stuff. That's not going to necessarily work for best live speaker. That's not what we're wanting to see. So when you look at the category, the judge, and you go to the resources page, we've given you all the judging criteria. You can go and see what the judges are given to judge against. You can also see the description of each of the categories. Look at those descriptions and select the best footage that demonstrates that description, right? And that should help people be able to decide which category to go to, which also means it's not exactly the same video footage for all categories. You may get away with it. For example, if you did best motivational speaker and best live speaker, you might get away with that, right? But you may not be able to use exactly the same footage and go, I've got one piece of footage, I'm going to put the same thing across everything. You have to look at the category and say, you might be able to say it demonstrates both. It happens to be flipping motivational and I was live, 2 for 1. You might be able to do that. But your live speaking footage and your motivational footage may not be the same thing as well, right? So really sit back and think about bear in mind, the judges don't know you, right? They've never met you before, because if they have, they ain't judging you, right? So they don't know you from Adam, right? So all they've got in front of them is this 5-minute piece of footage to say, yes, hits the category, love them, or I don't get it because I don't get how this fits in here. And that's the biggest fail that a lot of people have. The judges look at it and it could be that was a brilliant piece of content. But what you selected, the judges are left going, I don't get it. And that tends to be one of the biggest gotchas, I would say. At least that's what I've heard when I've spoken to the judges.
There you had it. Full whack.
Sorry, I got a bit heated, folks. Sorry,
Right.
you got a Lavelda soapbox moment.
You've definitely got a bit of a great.
I try not to, but I kind of want everybody to win, and I'm like, it's possible, but we've just got to step back a little bit and think about it rather than just go video footage, pop, go.
No, absolutely. We should just clip that bit. Right. Well,
Agnes, you've got another question.
Yes, I mean, I have to say I'm an hour ahead of you, and this has been the best 42 minutes. And I just want to say this. I sit in a lot of meetings. I'm not being polite. This has been the best 42 minutes. The energy, I'm sure everybody said, the confidence that you inspiring, because very often you go into these meetings and it's full of information only, and it's not real. It's truly, I have to say, and you just given me you just motivated me. So much for motivation speaking. But you just motivate. There you go. Simone's put his camera on. So you just motivate, because I think I have misunderstood. Maybe I haven't read just everything, but I think I just misunderstood, because I do a lot of public speaking, but there's very few recording of me. And I tell you why, because I do a lot of corporate speaking.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, I could, some is not recorded, some maybe you have to ask. So it's very often. And I thought, oh my goodness, I do all these and I'm hired and paid to do all this. But of course, how can I prove it? But if I understand, I can actually create a footage that is motivational, that has thought leadership. And of course, if I go for live, then I better get the one that I'm paid for and hired for, and get a nice clip out of that. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. I'm excited now.
Oh,
I
you
feel
got
like you
me.
might be
You
doing
got
2
me excited.
applications at least at this point.
I hope you feel the energy back
I do.
because I mean, really, I'm so glad I came. It's a very long day and didn't get good news from the lawyers are buying up the company that I'm doing. Another hurdle. It's all good. It will be good. So I thought, whew, it's 8 to 9 in my time. And I'm so glad I came. So thank you, not just to you, but all the questions as well to everybody. So
Where
thank
are
you.
you, Agnes? Where in the world are you?
So I sit, well, this is it. So I actually reside in Bonn in Germany. I'm originally Hungarian, lived 20 years in the UK, most of my time. And the new venture will be also based in London. So, and operate in 144 countries. So
Wow.
it's a little bit yeah, so I that's why I say I reside in Bonn because I'm not German, and but it's beautiful by the Rhine here and quiet, but otherwise most of my adulthood I spent in the UK, and hence the new venture will be I think based as well, and yeah.
Look, if you want to launch 144 speaker awards, the game, we're happy to do it. We're all
Why?
in.
Enrique, did you have any questions? I know it's fine if you're on listen only mode. I'm just also aware that
Yeah,
I want to just make sure that if you've got any questions, you can either drop them in or come off mute and ask, or just let us know if you're in listen only mode. All of them are fine. I just want to make sure that you feel like you've been taken care of on this call. Well, we'll see. Elliot, I'll add in something else interesting that came out of the calls that I had with the judges last year. And I don't know if they said a similar sort of thing this year. They were very much storytelling in so much as having a narrative arc was important in all of the submissions. And if they couldn't feel like it was going somewhere, so not necessarily storytelling in the sense of telling a story, but that there was some sort of narrative arc in the application, that, you know, motivational. We don't just want somebody jumping up and down on stage, go, yeah, give me a yes. You know, that's probably not going to do it. It kind of has to go somewhere. You know, they have to be able to get a sense of what do we mean by motivational, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. When piecing things together, the whole thing needs to have some sort of narrative to it, rather than it, you know, just being hype moments, or being clips that feel quite disjointed. There's got to be a flow to the submission. I don't know if they said a similar sort of thing to you, but it really struck me in the interviews I had.
Yeah, you have to take them on a journey, basically. Even in the 5 minutes, you got to lead them somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I got a lot from them when they spoke about story. But I think ironically, I think I interviewed Ricky as well. So Ricky's done story and TEDx. So if you're thinking of going for story, listen to one with Ricky, because they talked about a lot of that stuff. Wanting to be led somewhere, be moved, be pulled in by something. Ricky was very expressive. I'm not sure Ricky has this year. We'll have to check her little chart. But yeah, listen to one. If you got an hour and a bit, listen to the one with Ricky. You can find it on our LinkedIn page, or you go to the ANS Front Row podcast. I'll see if I can find you the link.
It's also on the resources page. You go on the resources page, all the way at the bottom,
everything's on the resources page. Everything you can possibly need is
bundled it all in one place.
There we go. I forgot about the resources page, but yeah, definitely listen to that.
It's my pride and joy, Elliot. I'm telling everybody about it. We've got a resources page and everything's on there.
Exactly. Everything is on there.
And if there's any gaps, we'll fill it in on there to make sure that people's questions are answered. Are there any gotchas that people should 100% avoid?
I think we've covered them, like using one video across 3, the other gotchas is, by the way, if you choose 3 categories for one submission, that will get cancelled out. We will choose one for you and cancel 2. So make sure you do 3 distinct entries. Any other gotchas?
The other gotcha is for people who've applied before using exactly the same footage for year 2, because especially we don't know who the judges are going to be per category. And it could be because the judges move around, they're not necessarily the same category they were the year before. And sometimes they might go, ooh, I think I've seen this before. And a year later, I would have expected that person to have grown, that there'd be something new to come through. So I think if you have applied before, I'd really encourage you, rather than taking exactly what you put in last year and putting it back in again, I'd encourage you to revamp it with the newer version of you, because in 12 months, we're kind of expecting, 12 months, there's some growth there, there's some new, fresh stuff there. So where possible, make it the best of you right now.
Especially if you didn't get anywhere with it, right? We would suggest use new footage. I mean, I know people that specifically have gone out to film stuff for the awards. Like, it blows my mind that people do that. They've gone into studios, got a whole filming crew. I'm not saying that's what everyone needs to do, but it blows my mind that that's what people have done. Speaking to someone this week, and she's like, yep, hired a studio, got a videographer, it's with the editor, all to put into the awards. I'm like, what? Mad.
Yeah.
It blows my
And
mind.
to be clear, there are people who filmed on their camera at home and won. So
Yeah.
it's not a prerequisite that you throw all of these resources behind it. And I think it's more to say, the more thought and consciousness you put into your application, the further along you're more likely to get. The more you sit back and just kind of go, I've got this footage, I'll just throw it in there and see what happens. You may get a result that's the equivalent amount of love, right? So, the amount, it's more about the thought in making sure that your application is as aligned to the category you're applying to than it is about how much you've invested in time, in energy and filming and crews and whatnot to get it done. People are operating at all levels of that spectrum, and that doesn't necessarily affect the result. So I don't want people listening to this thinking, I don't have those level of resources, it's rigged. No, it's not, because people have won at both of the extremes. so that you threw a bunch of money behind it does not necessitate that's the judges aren't going to be bowled over by unless it's your showreel, in which case you can edit it yourself, but you might want to get that professionally edited.
Yeah. Well, Beth, who I was also interviewed, she edited. She proudly she won Best Showreel, and she proudly says that she edited in her pajamas.
So all that to say, you don't need to go to that extreme. But we appreciate those who also do kind of take it that seriously and throw it in. Underneath all of that, the core thing is that your application is appropriate for the category, and it takes the judges on a journey and it makes them feel something. And if you can nail that, you're going to be most of the way there. Stay within the time limit, and take a few steps back, as a final check before you hit submit. Maybe just sit down, reread the application, go, if I were a judge, does this actually showcase what's going to be required? How would I score this before you submit it? Because I think it's also very easy to sit on the applicant side and be so concerned about what you're putting in that you forget there's somebody that you're submitting that to. And so maybe put yourself in their seat for a little while and just review it with a different set of eyes before you hit submit. And don't submit it at 11:59, please.
Aaron Farrell. 11:58.
Oh dear God.
No, don't.
My goodness.
We are not, just to let you know that we will be online for most of Thursday. We're not staying up for midnight to help you, it's not happening. I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
I mean, if you submit something at 11:30, don't expect a response from the team, because we're not sitting there wait. That's why we do these. That's why there's a resources page. That's why we have these live calls. We put all of the effort in. We give you ample time to do an application, and we specifically ask you to do it sooner, not just for us, but also for you. You don't want to get to the point that you go to submit, your laptop has a problem, the internet goes down, there's some sort of glitch, and now you're now you're sitting there and you've put all this effort in, you can't get the application in on time. Because once it's closed, it's closed. We won't open it the next day. It closes at midnight. The next day, the judges are in there to start judging. There's no sneak it through. So if you miss the deadline, whatever the reason, you're going to have to come back next year. That's just unfortunately how it is. So the deadline is not a movable feat, just so you know. When it's done, it is done. All right. So make sure that you check the time zone. It's UK time. It's midnight UK time. To be sure, just submit it the day before, right? And then
or 2 days before.
Right? I mean, submit it over this weekend and just be done with it. It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But we wish you all. We've got a few more minutes if there's any last minute questions. We do wish everybody the best of luck with their applications. Win, lose, or draw, you put yourself in the game, and that is better than the most. I mean, I think last year we had 1,000 people express interest, and we had about 300 and something start the application, and just under 300 complete it. So that tells you completion is a win already, right? The applications are really strong, that you don't necessarily need to win the award in order to get recognition and progress. We've had feedback that the application process by itself is a growth driver for people. We've had feedback that the judges look and they think, I really like that, but the category was so strong, somebody else won. But that doesn't mean the judge doesn't kind of go, I really quite like them, I'd like to get in touch. We've had years where judges were waiting until the applications were announced so they could start and add some people to their books, right? Their list. Okay. So it's not necessarily just about winning. Shortlisting is a huge goal. Applying is a huge win. Shortlisting is a huge win. Highly commended is a huge win. And winning the whole thing is a cherry on the top. Bear in mind, if you get shortlisted, there's only 12 shortlisted per category. If you get shortlisted in a category, it's a win in and of itself, right? And sometimes if you don't get shortlisted, it may have been half a point that was the difference between you being in and you being out. The biggest thing I want to leave people with is, regardless of what the outcome is, it doesn't take away from the success you've had to date. Right? It doesn't mean that your clients don't love you. It doesn't mean you're not a great speaker. None of that stuff's true. Regardless of the outcome of the awards, you were winning anyway, right? This is just it's a stamp on the top. It's a stamp of recognition, but not winning it or not getting shortlisted does not negate everything you've done up until that point. Doesn't mean your TEDx didn't kill it. It still killed it. Just means that on this occasion, somebody else's was a little bit better. That's it.
There we are. Well said. I think perfect place to finish. So thank you all for coming. We will do, I'll arrange it with the team, but we'll do one more before it closes. So if you needed to hop on last minute questions, watch out for that. But good luck. Back yourselves. And
back yourself.
Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
You are more than welcome.
See you.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All the best, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.